Hi, and welcome to another episode of Adobe Live. My name is Jacob Phillips, and I'm going to be here with you for the next 30 minutes. And our challenge this week is text-based editing and how we can make our workflow in Premiere Pro even faster. Voodoo Val, Keys, Oliver, good morning, good afternoon. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let me know. I'm over here in San Jose. Looks like the sun is finally starting to come out, which is very exciting. But we only have 30 minutes, so let's just jump into it. And Val did just mention in the chat too, the files that we are working with today are in the description down below. So you can work along with me either during or after the stream. I tried to make it as easy as possible to work along because for some context, this project was for a city college in San Francisco that I was working on, and we conducted about 10 different interviews along with a bunch of B-roll, drone footage, all the works. Maybe if I played a little clip, it would give some context of what we're working on and how text-based editing can kind of optimize, speed up your workflow. So let me put my headphones in. So here is the final video. Let's just give it a watch. We'll watch the first minute of it.
Hi, my name is Bridget Davila, and I'm president of the Board of Trustees at City College San Francisco.
I'm John Rizzo, vice president of the Board of Trustees at City College. 2 years ago, voters approved Proposition A, an $845 million bond measure.
Because many of our buildings were very run down, in need of renovation, or in many cases, just not worth repairing anymore.
We are one of the oldest community colleges in California. This campus was built in 1934 and 1935.
Okay, so that's the context I wanted to give you because if you didn't notice, there was a bunch of different people talking and they are all right here. We shot a bunch of interviews with faculty, board members. I mean, it kind of became endless. I don't even think I added all of the clips to the project here of who we were working with. And so what I want to do is first just quickly show how you can transcribe a sequence so that way you can get it started with text-based editing. And then from there, I want to show some fun features of ways that you can speed up that workflow once you got it going. So let's just, for example, take this. I want to go ahead and click new sequence from clip of this guy talking right here. And you'll see there is a little pop-up right here that says, this file that you selected is untranscribed. Would you like to transcribe it? And so to get the text-based editing to work, you need to go ahead and click on transcribe. And so it will take a little bit. This is like a long interview. I think it's like 6 minutes long. And so, you know, it's chugging away. It's doing its thing. In the chat, we got Luciano, Oliver, Robert, Val. How are we all today? What did you guys have for breakfast? Let me know in the chat. I'm kind of curious. I'm running on nothing at the moment, but I didn't wake up too long ago, so I'll probably get breakfast after the stream. So like I said, this is a very long clip. I am very impressed actually with how fast this was able to do. Like if I'm looking at it here, this is a 6 minute and 46 second clip. And it was able to transcribe everything, within about 20 seconds. So that's pretty good. Val had coffee, same, but decaf, so that way I don't get the jitters. You don't want to have too many pre-stream jitters. So I wanted to show you that transcribe thing, but I did want to go back to one that I already pulled. So the very useful part about the transcribe feature is once you have certain things selected, certain clips that you transcribed, you never have to transcribe them again, even if you're working in a different sequence. So if I were to pull this clip of him again, this would already be populated again. So it's only a one-time measure every time that you're in Premiere, which is really helpful. So I'm going to play this back, and you're going to hear me talking because I'm kind of directing the thing. That's about to die down, so we'll start. And then when there is audio interruptions this time around, we'll just keep roll with the punches, unless someone's literally screaming. But. Okay. Unless that's a lot of background of me just telling the talent, hey, don't be worried if you hear noise because we're shooting outside. There's students around skateboarding, things like that. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I do kind of want to throw a LUT on here before we start to work. And this is my ADD talking, but I am going to go, I clicked over here to color. I'm going to go to input LUT, and I'm going to go Stallman C-Log. And then I'm going to add some saturation, some contrast, because I don't want you guys looking at ugly footage the whole time. Very basic look, but it does the job, and I like it. Let's go back to text-based editing in this panel. And like I said, this is built into every new version of Premiere, so just make sure that you've updated in the past year or so, and you are good to go. So we are back, and right off the bat, text-based editing, it sees that there's some pauses here. So all I have to do is delete. Hit my delete key, and I can delete all the things away. And I can actually drag too. And you hear this whole thing. Like, oh my gosh, this is literally just me talking. And then he starts right here. And then he actually kind of does a fake start, and then he starts again. So I'm just reading this right now live. So I'm like, okay, let's just delete everything. I'm going to hit the delete key. There we go. And it even tells me that there's a little pause here. So I'm like, I'm going to delete that too. I don't want that pause. And we don't even need to play this back. I mean, it's crazy. We can just read what he's saying and then kind of edit what we want from there. And so in the final video, this is pretty much how the video started, was him saying, I'm John Rizzo. Yeah, I can narrate him. I am John Rizzo, Vice President of the Board of Trustees at City College. 2 years ago, voters approved Proposition A, an $845 million bond measure to replace old buildings that were tearing down and to build new buildings and to also retrofit some other buildings. Okay, look at that. We did that. So I wonder if I undo this, if you can like see the progress and how fast that was, because I mean, I just want to show how almost annoying it can be scrubbing through audio just to see when there's a pause. Like this was the old days, right? You would see there's a little drop in audio right here, and then you'd go, oh my gosh, okay, let's do the pause here. But like now it's like, oh, here's a pause. Let's just take the pause out. And I noticed that he says a lot too, which is very, very helpful to take out. And those ... dots can sometimes be pauses, and they can also sometimes be ums. So actually, let's go over here. And when you click, the playhead automatically goes to where you want it to go.
Student.
See, the is that ... And it's like, man, you can just get rid of all this guy's ums without, like, I don't want to hear your ums. Let's get rid of you. Boom. Boom. And you see it's making the cuts live. So I'm taking out his ums. I don't want his ums anymore. You know, if we're going to watch this back, I don't want to hear a single because the thing is, we're going to take that out anyway. If we were editing regular. Oh, wow. He has a whole section with no ums. It's pretty good. Robert had oatmeal flakes Oliver had cereal and tea, but that was like 12 hours ago because it's not the morning time anymore. Yeah. It's really beautiful how worldwide the audience is around here. You really never know what time someone's tuning in. I mean, half the time I swear people are like about to go to bed when I'm waking up on this show. So I always find it cool and very worldly. Yeah, I'm actually reading right here. This sounds like me talking, saying you can probably just do one more take. That's just kind of condense. Okay, don't be afraid to pause. Okay. So we definitely don't want that. So I'm just going to delete. Val says, text-based editing is kind of mind-blowing to me. I would agree. I think every editor is probably in their own zone of like, oh, this is how it used to be. And so let me just keep doing it that way all the time. But I find when you step back and you really just try to look at what new features and technologies are coming out, you can save yourself so much time. And it's just helpful to take a step back and see where technology is progressing for sure, because it's almost moving faster than we can sometimes even keep up with. And so that's why there's different, if you want to get real technical, the Adobe beta pages tell you every feature that's currently being worked on, future ideas, you can submit ideas, things like that. And if you are kind of simple like me and you just want things to work, 100% of the time, you can always just go and view the update notes on every piece of software that Adobe puts out. And so that's how it's done. Robert says 6:40 p.m. for me. Dang, that's crazy. I'm just starting my day, Robert. And Val says, before it came out, something that I was like, I wish I could just do it this way, but I never thought it could be real. Yeah, it does. It is actual voodoo magic in a weird way where you almost want to just stare at a timeline and want everything to get fixed for you. And suddenly that's becoming more of a reality. So let's just play it back. I took out a lot of ums.
I'm John Rizzo, Vice President of the Board of Trustees at City College. 2 years ago, voters approved Proposition A, an $845 million bond measure to replace old buildings that were tearing down and to build new buildings and also to retrofit some other buildings. And we've been working hard in those 2 years to get the first batch of projects designed. And we have 4 buildings now in the pipeline that are getting ready to be approved. Construction could start this year.
Okay, so I think this worked so well that it didn't provide enough context of how awesome the feature really is. Because if I drag this back, look at that. That's all just the dumb stuff that we cut out. And that's the actual meat of the video. And that's the part that we're actually going to use in the final cut that I ended up using in the final cut. And so, yeah, it's just exciting. I love this kind of stuff. The transcript feature goes right into the captions feature too. And so if you want to create captions for social or anything like that, you can create captions from transcript. Man, say that 5 times fast. And you can if you're doing any sort of social media, and honestly, it's helpful just nowadays, any sort of videos for the web, which is the majority of the things that I make. It's always nice to have captions on the bottom. And if I click on captions, it creates captions on the bottom. It's unreal, really. And obviously you can fix the font, make it look all pretty, but it's just, it's almost a no-brainer when you have a lot of interview footage to transcribe everything. There's no point in not, because if you have a client that suddenly is like, oh, like, can we talk about the engineering building? Like, where is it? You have this search box and you just type in engineering. Do I not know how to spell engineering? That's really cool. Engineering. Okay, so guys, the live stream is over. It's been fun. I don't know how to spell engineering. Oh, okay. How about we try science? Oh, and Val put a link to the beta apps and features. That is actually really helpful as well. There's a forum for each app too that you can put in whatever you need, things that you want to see added, and also future additions. And guys, we will see here, I did figure out how to spell science. Engineering is ENGINEER. If you were wondering, because somehow I messed that up. I guess I could blame that it's still the morning time, but it's almost 10 o'clock, so that is hardly an excuse. But I'm looking up science, and if say the client was like, hey, we wanted to add more about the science building, you can search the transcript. And if I put in all of the clips from hours of footage, I mean, keep in mind, this is only like a couple minutes of footage. I have like hours of interview. I could search every time they say the science building, so that way I can add that to the video. I mean, that sort of step up in your workflow will save you so much time with the client. And, honestly, you can probably still bill for those hours, because if you're working on a project like this, you probably have a flat rate. So work smarter, not harder is the saying. Val had to Google engineering too. Thank you. Keys says, less the editing part, but for foreign language footage and documentaries, the subtitles are usually made for editing, so it's a bit similar to edit. That way, knowing what is being talked about. That is a great point. If you're making content for a worldwide audience, or you have interview footage from someone who doesn't speak your language, this tool comes in perfectly as well. So yeah, let's keep taking out some ums and see what we can do.
Old buildings, pipeline that are getting ready to be approved. Construction could start this year. And the most exciting project, in my opinion, is the Performing Arts Center. It's a theater project that will not only train our students to be artists and behind-the-scenes technicians, but it will also be a venue for the community to come and see performances of local arts groups. So that's a very exciting development. Another project is the Student Success Center, which will house all of our student
He has quite a pause there.
all of
So I also added in the starter files the final video that I made, because when you're feeling lazy, you know what you can do. And I'm not even going to say that it's a problem to do this, because like I said, work smarter, not harder. When I want to pull B-roll quickly and I remember where it is, I always use the final video that I exported and I add it onto the old clip. So while he's talking, I know that this is the Performing Arts Center, and so I'm going to drag that on.
technicians, but it will also be a venue for the community to come and see performances of local arts groups. So that's a very exciting development. Performing Arts Center.
So there was that this little cut here.
And the most
So
getting ready to be approved, construction could start this year.
okay, could start this year. I'm gonna click this little gap, hit delete. It'll bring it together, and I'm gonna add these drone footages because text-based editing was able to take out his ums, but now there's a little gap and a little jump cut. And usually with a more professional video,
start this year. The most exciting.
You don't want that jump cut, so I'm gonna hide it with some drone footage.
The construction could start this year. The most exciting project, in my opinion, is the Performing Arts Center. It's a theater project that will not only
Boom. That's looking good.
train our students to be artists and behind-the-scenes technicians, but it will also be a venue for the community to come and see.
Okay, this is so exciting. Let's see if there's anyone else's ums that we can pull before we end here. We did already transcribe this, so let's take out his ums. Let's do it. So I'm here talking. I'm here talking. I'm still, I think I'm still, we're still just having a conversation here. Do you see how much I'm cutting out just by reading, just by skimming this? Okay. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Okay, we can take out all of this. Let's go. Oh. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. You see this? This is like, oh my God, it's 2 minutes and 23 seconds that we would have scrubbed through. I'm just going to click it, makes the edit, boom. It still sees a pause. So let's take that pause out too.
We're very excited.
Oh, and then you will see on the starter files, you just need to solo one of the audios because it's a 4-track audio coming from the camera.
To celebrate the future groundbreaking of several projects that will be critical to the San Francisco Community College District. We are very grateful for Proposition A, which will allow City College to transform the lives of students.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to
Our
solo this.
community members for generations to come.
I mean, that is just so exciting. We just saved like 5 minutes of our life, like trying to find where playing back. I mean, it used to be like what you would hit the space bar and then you would hit the L key to like speed up the footage.
That's it. Okay. My name's David. I'm the Chancellor of San Francisco.
So it looks like he does it again. And I mean, I don't know. These kind of tools, like I said, are just very exciting. Because I don't know about you, but I love editing when I get to the final product. But there's definitely times where I'm like, can I save some time here? That would be kind of nice. And Keith says, I can see that being useful when mixing or intertwining the dialogue from multiple speakers. I agree, Keys. And that's exactly what we're doing, which is so exciting. We have, like I said, if you're new to the stream right now, we had about 10 different interviews that we have to intertwine together. And so having the text-based editing to really just find the story via text. And it's kind of like you're in a Microsoft Word document in a way. And you're just, you're in a Microsoft Word document and you're like, how can I delete, copy and paste and Frankenstein this essay together? That's essentially what you're doing with all of this interview footage, because I know for a fact, this is something that's going to go at the end where he's saying, we are very excited and grateful for Proposition A. It will be transformable. He says transformable is not a word. Okay, that's another thing that we want to take out. He's like, am I talking too fast? Oh my gosh, someone walks by. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is the other thing that I will say is people do get nervous with things like this when they haven't been on camera before. And I can tell with this that, you know, there's just a lot of there's a lot of distractions. He's saying that he's nervous. And so these are things that we can just all take out.
We are very excited to celebrate the future groundbreaking events of several projects that will be critical to City College, serving students and our community for generations to come. We are very grateful for Proposition A, as it will allow us to do so many great things for our students and our community into the future.
Boom. Just reading the chat here. Or when a cut is a little awkward, you can hide that transition. Yes. So there's your weekly challenge. Take out the ums by just seeing the ellipses. Transcribe your sequences now, because it is definitely worth it to be using text-based editing. I can't even find a reason not to, because there's just so much opportunity for saving you, the editor, time in Premiere, where you can focus on making good art, making good content. And so that's really what it's all about. I want to thank everybody for coming here today. I'll be here next week on Wednesday at 9:30 for another weekly challenge. So I'm very excited to share that with you all as well. Up next, we do have pro tips with James. He is friend of the show, expert guy, and he will take it away for us. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for tuning in again, and we will see you next time. See you later.